What's up, agency owners? Jason Swank, and I have another amazing episode with my friends at Sharpspring. We're going to talk about what are the levers you need to pull in order to give your clients better results, to scale your agency even faster. We all want to know this, so let's go ahead and get into the episode. Hey, Greg, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah, excited to have you on. So tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name's Greg Bond, and I'm the head of revenue over at Sharpspring, which, very recently we were acquired by Constant Contact. So a lot of really cool integration stuff going on there between those two companies. And yeah, I just kind of oversee our entire kind of sales function and work really close with our marketing team. I actually have been with the company a while, and I came from VP of customer success. So very close to our customer base and really understanding what it is that our agencies and even our end users are really trying to do with the platform and kind of what their pain points are and what they're struggling with. And I've been able to bring a lot of that into the revenue focus of the company. So exciting
Awesome.
stuff.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the levers that agencies can pull in order to kind of scale their agency faster and get better results for their clients.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about this, especially in the context of Sharpspring, I think what a lot of it focuses in on for us is tool consolidation. I think is one of the main things. Over the years, the technology, the technology revolution of the past 10 years, the past decade, has brought a lot of different point solutions to market that are fantastic tools. But the problem with them is that you end up with siloed databases and all this information that sits in each individual tool, and you almost have to have a whole team of operational wizards to connect these things and pull all that data together. And you've got all this different reporting that's end up in silos, and you can't really work to unify that customer experience and report on where exactly what attribution is the attribution that you should be pointing towards for your clients that you're working with to say, hey, this is where that sale came from. And at Sharpstring, what we really focus our customers in on is ROI and being able to report specifically on this piece of revenue. Where did it come from? We talk a lot about being a full funnel marketer. And I think that's really the space where we want to play and where we think agencies can leverage to improve their own results.
So ROI has always been very important. And I think a lot of when I talk to agencies, one of their biggest challenges that they have is, well, I can't afford to hire someone right now. I'm like, well, why don't you charge more? And they're like, well, I don't know if they pay that. And then my next question to them is, well, how much value do you deliver your clients? And a lot of them go, I don't know, and which is really freaking scary. So, how can and it's depending on your industry and depending, see, I'm tripping over my words. See, we don't do any editing here. Fuck it. But
Do a lot.
yeah, depending on your industry, sometimes it's hard to show an ROI. How have you found, or what are some of the things that have worked for agencies for showing ROI in order for them to have the client stay with them longer as well as to charge more?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really is about showing that value at the bottom of the funnel. I think agencies in the past and marketers, just digital marketers, period, they bought into this inbound marketing approach where you have the lead magnet, somebody fills out a form, and that form, gives you somebody's email address and a really nice, tidy bow of, hey, this is where this person came from. But the new customers these days, there's multiple interactions before they actually make a purchasing decision. And so you have all this noise in the system. And so being able to track all the different interactions across the entire funnel, sometimes people move into the middle of the funnel and then back up to the top and then back down. And, they may not necessarily be ready yet when they talk to your sales team, and to be able to kind of keep all of that data in one place and be able to map it to a singular campaign and then show when this deal actually does close, that's the place where I can now track all of those interactions back and say whether I want to look at first touch or last touch or any different number of touches and attribution. I can tell you what contributed to that sale and be able to report on it in a way with confidence, right? Like being able to go to your client with confidence and say, I am 100% sure that our marketing efforts drove this sale, as well as your sales team, right? Like I don't want to take the sales team out of it. The sales team has a role to play as well, but marketing runs alongside the sales team and helps enable them to be able to close those deals. And
Yeah.
and you need a singular system that can track all of those interactions without some sort of Excel ninjutsu happening there in the middle of it.
Yeah, Dean Jackson always talks about out of 100% of the pie, like he always draws like this square. And then he basically draws a line down the square and says, 50% will never buy from you. And that out of the other 50%, they'll eventually buy from you, but maybe like 10% are ready to buy now. And then the other
Mm-hmm.
40% is over time, right? And so it's really important to really kind of think about it in that way because a lot of people just go after the 10% and they forget about the 40%. Like when I look at our data and the different things, there's a lot of times people don't engage with us or, well, jump into the mastermind or buy our framework for like 2 or 3 years, which I'm like,
Mm.
that's awesome. Like we held their attention that long. Um, but
Yeah, and
some
I
people
talk a
forget.
lot about it with our teams. I talk a lot about the buyer's journey, and you know, there are plenty of people who fall into the bottom of your funnel who are ready to buy right now. It's the first time you ever talk to them, right? But that's where they are in their buyer's journey, and they just happen to find you at that time. And I think so many people look for that, you know, zero moment of truth, that place where that's all marketing is like targeting that person. But there's so many other people, like you said, the vast majority of the people who will buy from you in the future are not at that point yet. And how do you nurture them to get there? And how do you drop them in at the top of your funnel, where at the top of your funnel it's damn near impossible to keep them accurately attributed to the right campaign over a long period of time. But you still have to fill that top of the funnel and help nurture them down. But with a unified database and behavioral tracking in a tool like Sharpspring, you now have that ability to get all those different touch points in and have them all in the system so that when 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they actually do convert into a sale, you know exactly how to attribute that marketing
You
spend.
know, why? I mean, you've been working with agencies for a long time. Why are agencies so bad at their own marketing?
That's a great question. I mean, I think one of it is it's the cobbler's shoes. They spend a lot more time and effort working with their customers and in collaboration with their clients. So they don't do a great job of marketing for themselves. And I think the other one is um, the number one way that agencies get business is through word of mouth. And word of mouth is about delivering results, right? If you deliver results above and beyond the expectations of your clients, that's where you get that word of mouth from. And so they spend all their time, and I believe rightly so. They should spend all their time trying to blow their clients away and just deliver those results that, again, being able to point back at the ROI and say, hey, this marketing spend, this effort that we drove these results. And if you do that over and over again, you'll get word of mouth. And so I think it's a good thing. Yeah, it'd be great if you could also fill the top of your funnel with a bunch more content, but if it comes at the at the risk of losing the results for your clients, then I don't think it's worth it either.
Yeah, I see that. I just had, as we're recording this a week ago, we had 28 of the best agencies over at the house for a 3-day experience. And we all talked about like what were the biggest challenges. And some of them were, we're not doing our own marketing.
Mm.
And they thought, well, in order to scale my agency, the lever I need to pull is the sales and I need to find a hunter. And I started asking more questions. I was like, well, why? I was like, well, what about the business coming to you? And they said exactly what you're saying. Most of their business is generated by word of mouth. I said, well, congratulations, you're doing a great job. That's prerequisite one for scaling an agency, right? Like, because there's a lot of people that take a stupid Facebook course and go, I'm a Facebook ads agency. They can't deliver shit. And then it screws it up for all the legit people out there. But what I told them, I said, what if you actually hired a hunter in order to scale? And they're like, what about the leads? I'm like, well, that's the other thing. You pull the marketing lever, you can start generating and building your pipeline. And then you're not so, because what I found was there's a lot of owners that the better they do in marketing, the more meetings they have, which then they get
Mm,
overwhelmed. And then they
sure.
start self-sabotaging themselves. Like, and a lot of you listening right now, you're doing this shit right now. I can promise you. You're self-sabotaging yourself. But if you hired a hunter, then they can start closing that business. They're not going to sabotage you. They want to do well. And then you can scale, then you can raise your damn prices, because when you're built on referrals, you can't raise your prices because
Yes,
they're
sir.
like, "Oh, I paid 10,000 a month." You can't charge 100,000 to a guy that just referred you 10,000. It's just a different playing field.
Yeah. And I think agencies, it's such a unique business because it is a professional service. And in professional services businesses, it's the expertise that people are buying, right? And the agency owner and the principal is that main source of vision and creativity. And so you have to have them involved in the sale. And you also want them involved in every client engagement. That's what the client purchased, right? So it becomes a scalability issue. Um, for your agency, right? Like there's only a certain amount that you can scale yourself. And so you have to hire people who have that ability to cast a vision and be that sort of thought leader as well alongside of you. And you need to be able to share the spotlight a little bit with them, or at least have, like you said, that hunter that goes out and brings people in front of you and does it in a way that doesn't require a ton of your time, so that you can spend the time delighting your customers with incredible, results.
Yeah, exactly. And I look at it too of going, as your business scales and you scale the agency, you better damn well start putting the people in place for this, right? Like
Yes.
you should have someone like the director of happiness making sure you're delivering the results, right? Well, that's what we have. So I don't
Yep.
have to. Like my attention to
Yep.
detail is probably like everybody else's. That's why I was telling you like our show's usually 10 to 15 minutes. Like we're all like attention to detail, like bird, what? Where's the bird? So, um, well, this has all been amazing, Greg. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think our audience needs to know about?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think we kind of covered all the main topics that I think are worth really focusing on. But I think one thing that I want to make sure is clear here is when we talk about tool consolidation, I think everyone hears cost savings, right? They hear that, oh, I can make my life a little simpler, have fewer logins and things like that. And that's not really what we're saying. What we're saying is the consolidation of tools and bringing all that data into one place and being able for that CRM, that centralized data repository, to be the thing that drives your automation engine and all that behavioral tracking, being able to make your message more relevant, to the right person, the right message to the right person at the right time. That is what gets you those extra conversion rates. That is what helps you grow your revenue. And it's not just, oh, you get to save some money. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's another benefit. But the real benefit here is it's actually the right way to build a customer experience that people will go nuts for.
Awesome. I love it. Now, Greg, you guys have a special offer for our audience for a short time. So tell us about it.
We do. We want to offer anyone that's a listener of your podcast series half off their onboarding and their first month free. So big offer here for you guys, especially for this podcast and your audience, Jason.
Sweet. Thanks very much. Where can they get this? Because now they're, if you want to get right, like we need to tell them where's the call to
Yeah,
action so you guys
there a
can
place
give
to
me
go?
attribution for it.
So head over to sharpspring.com/smart agency and you can schedule a demo right there, and that will help us secure that offer for you.
Awesome. And you'll be able to schedule it with one of their cool strategists that can walk you through everything and set you up. So highly recommend Sharpspring. Go check it out. Get your half month or the full month and the half off the
Half
onboarding. That's a tongue twister.
It is a
Um,
tongue twister.
that's a tongue twister.
It's about a $1,600 value right there. So,
Ooh, go get it, guys. Go get it while it's hot. But thanks so much for coming on the show. And
awesome.
until next time, have a swank day.